Am I the a-hole for telling my client's mother she can't be at the delivery? So I'm currently a surrogate for a lovely gay couple. I'm 35 weeks pregnant, so just about ready to pop. Our plan throughout the pregnancy has been for delivery. The fathers are in there and so is my husband, for my own personal support. Only 3 guests are allowed at my birth center. Yesterday my client's mother called me and asked for the directions to the birth center, and I asked why she needed it. She told me she needed it if she was going to be there for the birth of her grandchild. I told her there must have been some miscommunication and that dads and husband will be there for the birth. She said the dads encouraged her to reach out to see if I would mind having husband stay home so grandma can see the birth of her grandchild. She protested some, but I told her that even though this is not my baby to keep, I'm still going through a medical procedure and would like my support person with me. She hung up and the dads called me and told me I was unreasonable and rude towards his mother for no reason, and that they should be able who decides who is in the delivery room, since it's their baby. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It might be their baby, but it's your body. What does your surrogate contract say? This feels like something that should have been negotiated a long time ago. Am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor to mind her business about my sons? I, 23 female, am a single mother of twin boys, 3 male. We recently moved in with my mother after leaving our crappy apartment in NYC. My mother lives in a neighborhood that's mostly elderly and families with older children. Yesterday it was hot out and my boys were throwing water balloons at each other and me. Well, my neighbor, 47 female, came over and asked to keep the noise down and take my kids inside as it was early. It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I paid no mind and went inside to grab some water for my sons. I hear yelling and rush back out to see my neighbor with my son's toys and yelling at them. I lost it and told her to mind her own business. When she says this, of course people like you have to ruin the neighborhood. I'm black and my sons are mixed, their father is white. I told her to get off my mother's property before I call the cops. Edit, I don't know why I didn't include this earlier, but there were other kids outside apart from me and my boys. Not the a-hole. It was 2 p.m. not 2 a.m. so there was no problem with your boys being loud. Kids are loud, it's a given. My daughter is almost 3 and if she's outside, go ahead, be loud, have fun. As for yelling at your neighbor, you weren't the a-hole in that situation either. She took your 3-year-old twins' toys and was yelling at them. You had every right to yell at her to defend your children. Everyone sucks here. She sucks for being a raging racist clearly. You suck for not being mindful of the neighbors. Even though it was 2 p.m., they are not used to children making noise. You could have at least told your boys to quiet down. Still frick that old lady though. Am I the a-hole for not letting a woman leave the shop even though her baby was crying? I work in a shoe shop, and as you know almost all the shoes are alarmed. Yesterday a woman came in and got a couple of shoes. While she was looking for the shoes, her baby started crying but she didn't care and spent 20 minutes in the shop. I didn't see her going to the cashier since I was at a different part of the shop. When she got out the alarm went off, so I stopped her and asked to check her bags. She told me that her baby was sick and they had to go to the hospital as soon as possible. I told her that it won't take long and asked to see her bags. She refused and kept on telling me her baby was sick. I called my manager and our manager told the woman that as an employee, I had to check the bag since it was the procedure. She started crying, shaking and screaming, telling me her baby's situation is going worse and I was the reason for it. The security came in and looked at the bags. Turns out there was an alarm left on the shoes. It didn't take more than 2 minutes to remove and check the bags. While she was leaving she kept screaming, if my baby dies, it's on you. Which kept me awake whole night. Today is my free day and turns out the woman came into the store telling her baby has been kept in the emergency room for the whole night and day, and if they could help the baby earlier they would be home in the night. My coworker told me all, which made me feel horrible. I'd get fired if I didn't check her bags and the baby was crying while she was shopping, and she didn't care. But I still feel like I did the wrong thing. Not the a-hole. I kinda doubt her baby is in the ER. For one thing, if it was, she would still be there with them, not coming back to the store to tell someone off. Clear con, she is upset that she didn't get away with it. Not the a-hole, but shame on your boss for putting you in that situation. You shouldn't be checking people's bags, it's dangerous for you. And that woman took a sick kid shoe shopping, lol. It's on her when her kid received treatment. Had she just shown the bag there would be no issue. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my family didn't care that I graduated? So I, 21 female, graduated from community college yesterday. I'm proud of myself because I struggled greatly with it due to mental health issues as well as my ADHD. It took me a little longer than community college probably should, but I finished it finally and that's what matters. I also have a few cousins around my age, 22 female twins, and another 22 female, that also graduated this weekend, but they went to bigger universities. I woke up to a bunch of Facebook posts by my family congratulating all of them and saying how proud they were of all of them for graduating. Of course I'm proud of them as well. I sent my congratulations to each of them individually. I however didn't get anything of the sorts, even though my family knew that I would be graduating as well, and it honestly hurt a bit. My family doesn't really view community college in the best light, so I'm sure that comes into play with everything, but I still feel like it's unfair that I didn't get any acknowledgments. I vented to my mom about it and she just called me dramatic for wanting all that attention, but I feel like it's warranted at least a little bit. So, am I the a-hole for being upset that I didn't get any recognition for graduating even though my cousins did? Not the a-hole. We're your family now, and we are so proud of you. Congrats. Is there a difference in degrees? Like associates versus bachelors? I could see why they would make a distinction, if this is the case, though they still should have messaged you. I'm not sure why the type of degree would matter. They're both equally legitimate and not every field requires a 4-year plus degree. Because a 4-year degree requires more work. It is therefore seen as more of an achievement. Note that I said the family should have sent congratulations either way. Am I the a-hole for not allowing neighborhood kids use the pool? I, 37 male, moved into a small neighborhood with my fiancée, 36 female. The neighborhood is full of kids around the ages of 9 and 10. We found out that my fiancée is expecting and both decided on wanting a pool. I had an above-ground pool put in last year and the neighborhood kids were very happy. I told them no dogs were allowed in the pool as the lining was fragile and could break. This year, I opened the pool and the kids used it while we were away. When we got back, I noticed the water level was low and tried to refill it. I saw a good-sized tear on the side and got it fixed. The kids came over the next day with a Labrador Retriever, wanting to use the pool, and I told them that the pool was closed. I come home and see a few of the neighbors arguing with my fiancé. I walk over and everyone starts talking about how I hurt their kids' feeling by not allowing them to use the pool. I explained what happened and why I had to close the pool. A few of them start laughing and demand me to reopen the pool. My fiancé thinks that I should open the pool and apologize to the families. Not the a-hole. Who are the neighbors to demand that you open the pool? And I surely hope you strictly enforce the no-dog rule. I'm also assuming you require at least one adult be present at the pool at all times. Everyone sucks here. The parents for their entitlement and you / your fiancé for allowing children to swim in your pool unsupervised. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she is neglecting our son? I, male 23, am married to my wife, Dana, female 25. I work and she takes care of the house and our son, James, almost 3. I work every day from 6 a.m. 4 p.m. sometimes later depending on the shift. Before I go to work, I change and dress James. He is a light sleeper and wakes up to my alarm, and I try make sure he is all set for my wife to take care of him. I even lay out his lunch and snacks, so all she has to do is play with him and give him lunch. Well, over the last month or so I will come home to see James sitting in front of the TV, as my wife sits on the couch and reads. His diaper is almost always full. This makes me so mad, and I try to tell her in the nicest way possible that she needs to start playing with him, changing him at the very least. Well, 3 days ago I came home from work, with some KFC for us to eat, and James was in front of the TV, not changed, and not even fed. Let me repeat that. He was not fed lunch. She was on the couch reading. This put me over the edge. I simply couldn't believe it. Well, here is where I might be TA. I set the food down, filled a cup with cold water and poured it over her crotch, and told her that she couldn't have dinner. Of course she started yelling and asked why. I pointed to my son. I told her that if our son was treated like this then she should at least know what it's like to be uncomfortable and unfed. She said that I would have no idea how hard it is to be a mom because I work all the time. I said, well, at least I take care of James, at least I don't neglect him. She said, fine, you are care of him then, and left. She's been staying her mom's, and all of her siblings have been calling me and telling me I need to apologize and what an asshole I am for calling her neglectful and pouring water on her. Am I the asshole? What should I do? Not the a-hole. Tell her not to come back until she gets therapy because something is obviously wrong with her. You need to protect your son. Neglect is a form of abuse. Not the a-hole for the message, but you're the a-hole for the delivery. She either needs help and is depressed or is not equipped to be a stay-at-home parent. What she did is neglectful and can't continue. Please get help.